Hey there and welcome to Storytime, a weekly series where I'm going to tell you a story about my life and I'll just hope you'll enjoy listening to it. This week's episode is called How I Ended Up with 5 Cats. I know this number sounds so freaking high, and it is kind of high, but there's a story behind every one of these 5 cats, so let me explain how I ended up with them. The first one is called Artemis. She's a little black cat and she's 7.5 years old, about that, you know. The story is, I always wanted a cat. When I lived with my parents, I always wanted a cat, but they were dog persons, so I couldn't have a cat. So, when I was thrown out of my parents' house, I just decided, okay, it's time to get a cat. So I went out into the world and tried to get a cat. And I read the newspapers, I was searching on the internet. So after a little while I found a person living maybe 20 to 30 kilometers from where I was living back then. So I asked my sister if she could drive me there, and we drove there, and there was this nice little house and there were cats all over the place, maybe 20, 30, 40, I don't know, they were just all over the house. There were cats, all over her property. So we went inside and there were black cats everywhere. So she said, "This is your cat," and gave me a cat. She said she was sterilized or castrated, and yeah, she had all the, preparations for diseases there were. And she was an out cat. I don't know how to put that. So she was a cat that was running outside and stuff like that. So okay, I took her home with her. I gave her 20 euros. That was nothing, but yeah. So I took her home, and it was a great cat. She was, a little bit shy at the beginning, but she was just a great cat. After a couple of days, she always came to me. She wanted to cuddle, she wanted to be petted, and she was just a great cat. And yeah, so I gave her, the freedom to go out and come again whenever she wanted, because I had this little window I could open. And yeah, after a couple of weeks, she was pretty fat. She was so freaking fat, and I just knew, okay, she's pregnant. So yeah, she became 3 babies, 3 little kittens. And they were so cute, so adorable, 2 of them were blue-white. One of them was completely blue, and one was black and white. So I was just, in love with that little completely blue cat. It's a kind of gray, but you call it blue. So I decided to keep the blue one. I called her Selene or Selene, whatever. Selene is the German name. So yeah, I just kept her. So I had the 2 of them, and everything was fine. I kept her. She was a great cat. They both were great, but I just kept the blue one inside because they are very expensive here in Germany. So I didn't want someone to steal my cat. And Artemis was kept inside too, because I didn't want her to get pregnant again. So after a little while, I had a castration, appointment with a doctor to get her castrated. But the thing is, she actually escaped from my place when I was moving. The appointment was maybe 1 or 2 weeks after that, so she escaped, and damn it, she got pregnant again. I thought about, something like an abortion, but I didn't think it was the right thing to do. So I just let her be pregnant a second time, and she got 3 kittens again. So these 3 kittens were just, cute too. And there was 2 kittens looked identical, and there was one, I don't know how to put that, a male cat. I don't know what's the English word for that. So yeah, I decided to keep one again because I just, I didn't want to rob her of all her kittens. So I kept a 3rd cat, and I called her Maya. So she was a little bit different than all of the other ones. She wasn't like her mother. She rarely wants to cuddle. She's just, walking around alone all the time, and she's just, she's a little mean kitty, if you want to put it like that. You can't touch her without her, approval. If you do that, she will, she will try to beat you to death, basically. So yeah. So after a while, everything was normal. So 1 or 2 years back, I was moving in with my girlfriend, and she had a cat from Spain. It's called Medeia. She's a Siamese cat, and she's actually kind of a cool cat because she's talking all the time, but that can be annoying if you know what I mean. So yeah, she moved in with me, and because her cat moved in too. So there were 4 cats. And whoa, 4 cats, that's that's a lot of cats. And the problem was she wasn't getting along with my 3 cats that well. You know, they live next to each other, they accept each other, but they're not getting along. They don't cuddle together, they don't sleep in the same places, they won't even eat from the same bowl. So yeah, they didn't get along that good. So we thought about getting a 5th cat. Sorry, we thought about getting a 5th cat for her, so she would have someone to, you know, to play with and stuff like that, because she was only 2 years old when we got her. And yeah, but the thing is, we couldn't find one, and so we decided, okay, maybe she will get accustomed to the other 3, so we don't need a 5th cat. And we just waited. And then one day we came home, we were going to the mall, you know, and we came home, and there was this little cat, maybe, you know, 6 to 8 weeks old, very, very young. And she was sitting in front of our door, and she was crying a little bit. There was no mother to be seen anywhere around. And she was so thin, so freaking thin. She looked like she was starving. So, okay, we decided to, yeah, take her to our place, or take her up to our place, and feed her a little bit. So we fed her, and we tried to, you know, to get her out again, but she didn't want to go. And we were really afraid because there are lots of cars here that drive too fast. So we were afraid she would die if we just, you know, throw her out. We actually tried, you know, posters and stuff like that. We asked around in this little village here. We asked around if anyone knew her or her mother, but no one answered. No one, you know, came to us. So we just decided to keep her, and yeah, that's been a couple of months now. And we are pretty happy with her because she's so playful, and she's getting along with all the cats here pretty well. You know, they are sometimes annoyed because she always wants to play, and yeah, she's a little, you know, she just hops onto the other cats and drags them to the floor and stuff like that. And she's kind of, you know, a little annoying, but she's a great cat. Oh, we actually called her Sunna. So if you didn't recognize that before, all 5 cats are named after gods or something like that. Something from, you know, ancient times, if you want to put it like that. So yeah, no. This is how we ended up with 5 cats, and you know, the number seems so big, but actually the more cats you have, the less you see of them. It's weird, but they have each other to, you know, to get along, to play with, to, I don't know, to do cat things. So you as a human don't really see them at all. 2 of them are always in the bedroom, and they're just, you know, chilling out there, if you put it today. And the kitten just runs around and plays for herself, so you don't have to do anything about that. So yeah. Okay, this is the story of how I ended up with 5 cats. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a little confusing, I think, but yeah. So this was story time for this week. Leave a comment and a rating, please, would be greatly appreciated. And as I said, I hope you enjoyed it. I'm Lost Link, signing out.